Does your social media feed suck you in that I can't not look sort of way, and then leave you feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, angry, or anxious? Then this video is for you. The 4 points I'm going to cover in today's video are understanding the stress response, what happens in your body physically during the stress response, why and how people handle stress differently, and what you can do about it. Hi there, I'm Amber Carver, and I help you achieve health in mind and body through an integrative approach to wellness. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my monthly videos. Today, we're digging into social media and your stress response. Let's go. All right, let's start and talk about the stress response. So we have to remember that we're not just in the middle of a pandemic. And let's be honest, that's a massive reason that there's a big stress response happening. But there's also a lot of conversations and a lot of feelings that are going around about politics, about social justice issues. There's so many big picture things happening, and there's a lot of things that are impacting your day to day. So you may walk into a business and that business is only doing outdoor seating and no longer doing indoor seating, and there's X's on the floor, and there's constant reminders that life is not like it used to be. People are wearing masks. Everyone's trying to figure out what's going to happen with the school year and what's the right fit for me and my family. What's happening when we think about the holidays coming up, trying to plan for that. There's so much uncertainty happening right now in the day to day. And that's triggering a stress response within the body, or at least it can be. Here's the kicker. We often don't realize that a stress response has been activated in our body. So the stress response, often referred to as fight or flight. I also say fight, flight, freeze, or faint. And that's how all the different ways that it can show up for people. So some people may experience that freeze or a shutdown. They may turtle in and just kind of really pull inwards, that they don't want to experience, or they're not engaging with the external as much. Or the other complete side of that is someone might choose that time to completely overhaul their house, frantically start cleaning, or decide to tackle that next big project. They take more of that attack approach to what's going on. And we're seeing that in social media as well. So if you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, then you may be more tempted to constantly be checking. Do you feel like your social media, the phone is constantly pulling you, check me. And then it's you can't not engage with what's happening. That could be your stress response. Do you know how you respond in a time of stress? Be sure to sign up for my email newsletter, as I'm going to send out a check-in on your stress response this month. We respond to stress in different ways for different reasons. And first, we really need to acknowledge that we're all different, and we all have had different life experiences which impact how we respond to stress. Often, how you experience stress as a child, how you experienced it as a child, impacts how you experience it as an adult. So if as a child you weren't taught how to regulate your emotions, or maybe even allowed to experience all the different emotions, then you probably learned other ways to cope with the strong feelings that you had. So listen, this is common. Most of us weren't taught how to regulate our emotions, or that it was okay to have all the feelings. And this is a generational issue. So if you weren't taught how to regulate your emotions or sit with difficult things, your parents probably weren't taught that either, and their parents probably weren't taught that, and so on and so forth. And this is important because it impacts like what we're seeing and how it's playing out on social media from like a wide range of generations. So maybe Uncle Joe is airing his very strong opinions out on social media about X, Y, and Z, or about how the neighbor's doing this or not doing that. And you are feeling yourself activated by that and wanting to respond and say how you feel about this, or they should be doing this, or they should be doing that. Or maybe it's the opposite and you just want to like run and hide from it all and like, ooh, I hope no one knows that like I'm connected to this person. Let's take a minute and recognize that you do have a choice. You have a choice in how you can respond, and let's dig into that. Before we get into what you can do though, I think it's really pertinent to understand what's happening physically within the body in a state of stress. So stress is what I would say is like bi-directional, meaning that what happens physically impacts the emotional and mental, and what happens emotionally or mentally impacts the physical. So our autonomic nervous system scans for stress 4 times in 1 second, which means your body could potentially go into a stressed state 4 times in 1 second. It also means that you have 4 opportunities in 1 second to choose to help your body stay in a calmed state. So when our body is in a state of stress, it impacts us physically. Your body responds to stress by recognizing it first in the brain. It uses your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus talks to your nervous system, which releases hormones, and it also talks to your adrenals, which also release hormones. And they recruit all available reserves in your system to create a rise of blood glucose and to increase the flow of oxygen. So basically what it's doing is your brain is telling your body that, hey, we need to send all of our extra energy, blood, oxygen to our organs and to our brain so that our body is activated so that it can physically respond to the stressor. Whether that's like running or fighting, whatever. Your body is ready and your organs are ready and your brain is ready. Everything's ready to just go. The problem here is that if you're under chronic stress, then this response can lead to inflammation, chronically dysregulated blood sugar, insulin resistance, metabolic disorders, and ongoing hormonal imbalances. Your body wasn't meant to live in a state of stress. So stress also impacts your body's ability to properly digest foods. We need to be in a parasympathetic state or a state of rest to properly digest foods, because what happens is that when we're in a state of rest, we're more present with our food and our brain has time to tell our mouth and everything to start developing or producing saliva, which helps us break down our food to properly digest it and send it to the appropriate places. If we're in a state of stress, we're not doing that. So our body's not getting the nutrients it needs. And here's the thing, your stress response needs minerals such as zinc, magnesium, and calcium for healthy brain cognition. And unfortunately, these are often depleted under high stress. So here's the thing though, a lot of people are already deficient in these key nutrients to begin with, before your body's even in a state of stress. This is something that I always check with my one-on-one clients to make sure you're getting the nutrients that you need so that your body is functioning as efficiently and as optimally as possible. So all of these issues can create food cravings, lead to an emotional eating response, whether that's the act of overeating or undereating, right? Because it can be both. It can create bowel distress, headaches, migraines, fatigue, and just so on and so forth. So a lot is going on, not just from an emotional standpoint, but also from a physical standpoint. So let's dig into what we can do about it. Okay, so let's dig into what you can do about it. So first, put limits on your social media. How often are you going to check Facebook or Instagram? How frequently or how much time do you want to spend scrolling on there? Set a timer, set an alarm on your phone. That way you're not like, oh, is it time yet? Oh, it's not time yet. You can trust when your alarm goes off, you can check it. Don't check social media first thing in the morning, because that automatically impacts your day. If you roll over in bed and you pick up your phone and you start to scroll and you see something stress-inducing or upsetting or has some kind of impact on your body and your emotional state, that impacts you physically and mentally for the rest of your day. Your body is working from a stressed response from the get-go before it even has any fuel to use. So you're already functioning from a depleted state. So do not disturb, and other apps can also help you stay focused. Don't be afraid to use the block, unfollow, or mute buttons. So this is a way for you to set boundaries. And if you watched my last video, you know that boundaries are about you and your own health. They're not about the other person. So they protect you and your well-being. You're in a group that you don't want to be in, mute. They put you in this group chat or automatic messaging, see ya. Like, that's your choice. You have the choice to respond that way, and you don't have to be mean about it. You can do it silently. But advocate for yourself and for your health. Be gentle with yourself. If I could give you this is probably one of like my top tip. Be gentle with yourself when it's a stressful time. It's okay to feel how you feel. Treat yourself with gentleness as you navigate this continued state of uncertainty. Pause and ask yourself every day, what do I need today? When you wake up in the morning, instead of reaching for your phone, think, what can I do for myself today? What do I need today? What's going to help me have a good day? Because when you have a good day, when you start the day asking like, how can I show up for myself? You are so much more able to show up for other people. If you're feeling the pull to constantly check your social media like again and again, then ask yourself, what's really going on? Are you anxious? Then let's take 3 deep breaths. Maybe even take a break and go for a walk. Moving your body can help release some of that anxiety. Are you procrastinating or avoiding something? Then enlist a friend to help encourage you. Play the music that really helps you focus. Set a timer and say, I'm gonna work for 20 minutes and then I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. Or maybe you work for 10 minutes and take a 5-minute break. Whatever seems manageable, but give yourself that opportunity to really dig in instead of avoiding and going down this rabbit hole. Are you looking for that stress response adrenaline boost that we get from a stress response? If so, then take a break. Go get a cold drink of water. When was the last time you ate? Because starting to feel kind of sluggish may mean that you need to actually nourish your body. So take a minute and get a really nutrient-dense snack to help power you through. There's also the chance that it may be your body saying, hey, you're tired. You need to actually rest. And I mean intentional rest. I don't mean laying on the couch, mindlessly watching a show or scrolling on your phone. I mean shutting down, giving your brain and your body that chance to rest and come to a place of calm. I hope that you found today's video helpful and that it encourages you to advocate for yourself and to take control of your social media feed, not letting it control you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you need extra help with any of the topics covered today, then head on over to my website, ambercarver.com, to book a session or schedule a consultation appointment with me.